their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
Welcome back to the show. I don't know about you, but sometimes it feels like we're repeating scenes from the movie Groundhog Day. After all, every day may feel the same, especially if you're working at home. But Tampa Theatre decided to, well, put a little spin on Groundhog Day, which is nothing new for Tampa Theatre, because every year in their BeerFest, they like to combine beer with a movie, and just so happens to be Groundhog Day. Let's go ahead, bring in our dear friends, Jill Witecki from the Tampa Theatre, cracking one open now. I'm feeling left out. Nell Callaghan from Cigar City.
I just want to thank you, first of all, for giving me an excuse to drink beer on TV on a Monday morning. So
I'm left out.
Cheers to all of you.
There you go. Cheers to you guys, though. Again, BeerFest, it's such a fun event this year. And I'm assuming as everything happened, things closed, reopened, but the numbers are still what they are. Jill, you were probably thinking like, what are we going to do? So you've had to make some changes.
We did. You know, we went into all of this in March, just like everybody else, hoping that we would be back open in time to do our signature event over the summer, BeerFest, and it just wasn't in the cards. So we had to shift gears a little bit and try to figure out how we could turn that into a virtual experience. And I have to say, like you mentioned, we always do a movie theme with a twist. And when we started looking at the available titles, something that would be appropriate, Groundhog Day was the perfect film to represent what all of us are going through this summer.
Absolutely. And, you know, you brought up, it is your signature event. People are probably thinking like, wait a second, I remember going to the Tampa Theatre for BeerFest for, you know, in its 9th year now. What do people need to know? How are you doing it? How are you executing it?
Well, the best parts of the event are going to hold true. We still have a great theme. We still have a great collection of local craft beers and breweries that are joining us in the endeavor. You can see some of the beers behind me that are going to be represented. But instead of coming to Tampa Theatre to taste them, we're going to bring the experience to you. So what we're going to be offering this year is a 12-pack tasting box. We still have Grand and Premium. So the Premium is a little bit higher end, harder to find beers. But all of them are incredible selections that you can't necessarily walk into a store. I'll tell you, I shopped around a little bit to find these yesterday, but there are some beers on this list that you can't just walk into your local grocery store or liquor store and find them. And the collections have been curated by a longtime friend of the theater, somebody who's been part of the event all 9 years, and that's Veronica Danko over at The Independent. So she put these lists together for us. We're going to sell those tasting boxes. In the box, you're going to get a couple of our Tampa Theatre tasting glasses, some Tampa Theatre popcorn, a couple other surprises as well. And then the evening of August 8th, the event is Saturday, August 8th, you're going to be able to tune in on our Facebook page to a live streaming event starting at 6 o'clock. And that's going to include some live music with Ronnie D and the Superstars, a local band. They're going to be broadcasting from their location. We're going to do a welcome with our CEO, a little bit of information about the event, and then something we're really excited that we've never gotten to do before because of the format is we're doing a Q&A with some local brewmasters, and that's where our friends at Cigar City come in.
Jill, you made the reference, these beers, you can't just go into the grocery store, but you can go into, I know one place, which of course is that Cigar City that you said is going to be participating in that beer Q&A. Nell, I was surprised to hear before we started, this is the first time you've been involved in this event. And I know how small the beer community is in Tampa Bay. So what was it about this signature event through Tampa Theatre that you were like, yes, Cigar City needs to get involved?
Well, it's an event that we had been familiar with for quite a while. The work that the Tampa Theatre does within the Tampa Bay community, we've always been really impressed with, and we've partnered with them on some previous events and initiatives. So any opportunity to work with those folks, we always want to jump on, and especially if there's other breweries from the area involved. Like you were saying, there's so much camaraderie among all the breweries in the area. So to be able to spend some time with our friends, to drink some beer, have some popcorn, and watch a Bill Murray movie, I mean, it wasn't a tough sell.
And you're going to have to answer some questions, though, because I think as the beer community has grown so tight, people are fascinated about it. I mean, we're becoming beer connoisseurs here in Tampa Bay. So, Nell, you're going to be participating, right?
Absolutely. Yep. So it'll be myself, some other folks involved in the brewing community in the Tampa Bay, and you'll get to hear us talk about sort of the approach that we take to our beers, talk about some of the recipes, talk about where some of the beer names come from, what sort of makes our beers unique, something like the Spanish Cedar High Life IPA that I'm drinking there. You get to hear me pontificate about where the recipe came from, about some of the ingredients that we use, and really what makes our beers unique within the Tampa Bay community and within craft beer as a whole.
And so we talked about some of the details, how you can laugh along with the movie, which again, the name just lend itself to the hops theme. I know you always do so well at that, Jill. We try to have fun with you and come up with new ideas. But another new idea you're working on, there's a scavenger hunt that is going to be coming up. Explain what that's all about and how that's kind of, again, you thinking outside of the box, but finding ways to get involved and appreciate the Tampa Theater.
Well, we wanted this to be, we didn't just want to sell you a box of beer to take home and drink. That's exciting enough, but we wanted to incorporate some other fun with it. So the scavenger hunt is just for fun. It's to get you out of the house, out into the open air, safely distanced outside, but give you something to do on your way to pick up your box. So the scavenger hunt starts in Curtis Hickson Park, and then there's going to be a series of clues that is going to take you all the way up to Eulalie, all the way down to the end of the Riverwalk, back and forth, may loop around a couple of times just to stay with the theme. And of course, the eventual destination is going to bring you back to Tampa Theater to pick up your tasting box. So, there's no prizes or anything. There's no stakes in this. It's just for fun to get you out walking around, maybe burn off a couple of calories before we hand you 12 beers to take home. And then the end of the night, so you start with the scavenger hunt, you do everything in between. And then at the end of the night, we're going to do a watch party of the movie, because that's always been a fun part of the event too, is having the movie on the big screen kind of as that moving wallpaper. We can't do that this year, but we can do a Netflix watch party. So at the end of the night, we'll all get together, we'll all watch the movie together and have the comments going along the sides. And I know that a lot of the staff is really looking forward to maybe throwing in some movie trivia, having a little bit of fun with those comments as we get to watch alongside our patrons.
Good tease about the scavenger hunt that you might have to go back and forth in reference to the movie. I like that. Hey, Neil, I want to get your thoughts, though, of course. And if you don't want to share necessarily what beers people can enjoy, give us an idea what some of the hot beers are that you're seeing this summer and what you're really proud of right now.
Sure. Right now, me personally, I'm drinking a whole lot of the Cigar City Brewing Margarita Goza. So it's a sour ale. I know that is a style that you're starting to see more and more out there. Those beers that have that little bit of tart acidity. And the inspiration for this one was a margarita. So it's brewed with orange, lime, and salt, 4.2%. That little bit of acidity, a little bit of tartness really makes it a great thirst quenching beer. So light, tart, refreshing. I think those are all things you're looking for in a beer this time of year.
Absolutely. Jill, I want to have you give the last word. Talk about where the money does go and how important it is, though, that we continue to support Tampa Theater, because what a treasure it is to have in downtown Tampa.
We get a little bit silly with these events and we have a lot of fun, but the purpose really is serious. Tampa Theater is a community-supported nonprofit organization. We have yet to be able to open our doors to the public in the face of coronavirus. So it's events like this and everything else we're doing that is keeping the money coming in so that when it's safe, we are going to be able to reopen.
Good stuff. Well, cheers to you guys. Cheers to another great event. Thank you to both for joining us. Let's put up one more time where people can go for tickets. You broke them down. You've got the two different ways to go and enjoy. And of course, it's all at tampatheater.org, BeerFest. Best of luck. I know it'll be a great event as always. And we hope you stay right there because the show will continue on the other side of the break.